Good morning. Good morning, fellow people. I should have done that before going live. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services. Not bad. Where our goal is to help our students and others on this journey through life. To see it as a journey, not that it is a thing in and of itself, not like life is the journey. No, the journey is a journey. It is what happens while you're heading to a destination. You have a destination. Between now and then is the journey. Or from the time you started until the end is the journey. Till you get to the destination, that is the journey. All righty then. And so our goal is to help our students and others on that path. So good morning. It's about 6 o'clock on this Friday, September 27th, 2024. Here we are in southwestern Nevada, Nye County. Pahrump or Pahrumpertucky, you choose. Okay, the theme of today is sour grapes. Good morning and good morning, Wadabebi, hanging on by our fingertips. That's pretty cool. We few, we happy few, right? Have a little turmeric in that water, just as an experiment. Okay, theme of today is sour grapes, not turmeric in water. Maybe I should put some ginger in there too. Who knows? What do you think? Wadabebi, ginger with the water? Cool water, not hot water. Okay, well, again, this is Friday. Our theme is sour grapes. Let's get into it right now. Advice from an 80-year-old. Keep it simple. Don't make things too complex. Focus on the destination. Enjoy the journey. All right. What does Seth Godin have to tell us today? Snowballs and avalanches. Residents leave a town because of lack of services, which cuts the tax base, which leads to more services lost, which leads to more residents leaving. Right. So the snowball starts, right? It's a snowball. A hip new brand attracts a few opinion leaders who flash the logo, which attracts more hipsters who then establish a status standard which attracts more customers. The snowball is rolling. The key variable in both spirals is time. So one spirals down, one spirals up. Time is the key. The rise or fall happens day by day, not all at once. And normal interventions rarely make a difference. I wonder what normal interventions are. It's the apparently irrational overinvestment in the moment that can change the dynamic going forward. So the irrational overinvestment would be what? The opinion leader? I don't know. I know it's a good one. Okay, avalanches. I don't know. Do avalanches, are they like snowballs? That it's tick, 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 boom. Yeah, that would be more like an avalanche, where a snowball would just be tick, 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 tick. And I guess if you think about it, as the surface area of a snowball gets larger, each square inch is only gathering the same amount of snow, but you have more square inches. So it at least geometrically gets larger. Cool. All right, all right, all right. Let's see, what do we have for red letter down below? Darren Hardy, sour grapes. That's the only one. Only one thing today. It's Friday. I had ACV, yes, and pepper. What's ACV? When you're right, you're seldom wrong. Correct. I used to say that about myself. When I'm right, I'm seldom wrong. Yes. ACY. No, ACV. Wonder what that is. Pepper. Curious people want to know. Well, let's see. Sour grapes. So Darren Hardy today talked about sour grapes. And then I went and did a little bit of perplexity, a little bit of AI, generative AI. Went and looked at a little bit of generative AI and discovered the source of the term. Oh yeah, how are you doing in the storm, Watabetty? There's a hurricane. Is it a hurricane or a cloud or stage 4? What is it called? They measure these storms. Okay. All right. Sour grapes. So Aesop's fable about a fox. The fox sees some grapes, needs to jump up and get the grapes. It jumps, can't get the grapes, takes a more of a running start, can't get the grapes, can't get the running grape, can't get the grapes. All of a sudden, the fox, when it realizes it can't get the grapes, it says they're probably sour anyway. So on the one hand, that's kind of our natural instinct to make the things we don't get less valuable, right? We couldn't get it, so instead of trying to figure out how to get it or having regret that we couldn't get it, we say, well, they were probably sour anyway. In other words, I didn't want them anyway. Is that good or bad? Don't know. But what's not good is to have the automatic knee-jerk reaction that every time you don't get something, you disparage it, or you rationalize it that I didn't want it, or God's plan, which reminds me, bonk, 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 bonk. Last night, first night, new class, Theological Foundations of Ministry, talking about what is a disciple, what is ministry, what is it to minister, being a disciple. Very good class. The 23 people, so this is the largest class I have been in. However, effective use of the breaking it into groups. Very effective use of doing that. So you end up in groups of 4, 3 or 4. And then he also has it so we do 2 rounds. So you get with maybe a third of the class at a time. And then we get to talk about it. So good class, smart people. Most of the people work, well, I don't know, because we didn't do the round thing. But so there were maybe of the 23, maybe 4 or 5 nuns in there, sisters, lay people working at schools or in other areas. Good class. I've got to say that. I'll just repeat it. It was a very good class. Going to learn a lot. It really separates the wheat from the chaff, because one of the reasons is we take a critical view. In fact, it's about taking a critical view of theology, as opposed to we don't question it because it's inerrant, it's divine, every word is sacred. And one of the instructors, I'm going to say pet peeve, he said something different. Hot button is this concept of God's plan. God has a plan for you. Well, it's in my notes of what he said. God's plan versus free will, but it wasn't free will, but it's God's plan versus the opposite of that. That God doesn't, we're not little marionettes on a thing, and we're just playing out a pre-script. My phone died. What? How can, uh-oh. I'm at work. Okay, so when you say your phone died, what does that mean? Your phone died. Oh, okay, 1%. Okay, so you forgot to plug it in when you went to sleep. Okay, we're at 11 minutes in. Sour grapes. Had a good class last night. I think we're going to have G School is going to really become very interesting as we're learning theological foundations of ministry, because it's very different than non-denominational. We go in and we sing, and then we have a lecture, and the lecture is primarily comprised of Bible quotes thrown at you versus a theme. What is discipleship? And then using examples, not citations, but examples from the Bible, stories from the Bible, of especially red letter of Jesus. I sent you a voice message. All righty then. Okay, well, so let's look at the worksheet once again. Sour grapes. I think the key takeaway is be aware. Be aware of the sour grapes. When you find yourself saying, I didn't want it, it wasn't meant to be, etc., ask yourself the question, am I saying that just because I didn't get it? Am I saying that to make myself feel better for not getting it? Is there more I could have done? If that is the case, is there more I could have done to have gotten it? Was my desire to get it misplaced, initially misplaced? Ask questions like that. Self-reflect. Okay, so here we is at 13 minutes in, and glad to see Wadabevi and Matticus von Atticus are there. Yeah, Matt, when you called yesterday, I was studying for class. So, and you were calling me, I understand and remember the reason. So, yeah, as Mark Watney would say, and yeah. Pensively thinking about the next move. So I've got a bunch of stuff to do today. I've got 2 groups coming out to Pratt at some time today, probably very late morning. Have the other stuff, see what's happening at Star. Shouldn't really be a big deal. Got somebody new yesterday. Proud to report 2 people. The 2 people who were at the epicenter of the great shedding. I'm not going to call it the great shedding. The new shedding. People can hang on for maybe 60 days, 30 to 60 days. People can kind of hang on. So something that should have occurred on Thursday, actually on Wednesday, actually occurred on Thursday. They accomplished the mission. They just kept going forward, demonstrated that, and we got a new woman who's 8 months pregnant, who had been living in the park. Can you imagine that? It's only in Pahrump where you have both good people being forced to live in conditions, situations that no human should live, that if somebody treated an animal that way, they would be arrested. We regularly do it with people. We just throw them away on the one hand. And then on the other hand, the people in positions of authority and power, both elected and non-elected, turn their back. Best case, they turn their back, but in reality, it's called willful blindness. I don't want to know because I have preconceived beliefs that if I help this 70-year-old woman who's living in her car alone, my preconceived beliefs is if I help her, 10 more people like her are going to come. And you know what I say? I say, bring them on. Bring them. Bring them. Bring them, because it doesn't really take a lot to help. Doesn't really take a lot to help. Okay, so Diana is here in Portland. So we have Fort Prescott, Fort Jacks, and we have, what is it called in Portland? A particular area of Portland. Felony Flats. Portland. One-Eyed Willie was there. Okay, so we're going to call it. We're going to call it at this time. Glad to see you're there, Diana. Glad to see you are participating. Keep moving forward. I would say go to church. Just about any church is better than no church. I can't tell you, but I would say the closest church. How about that? Go to the closest church. Offer to help. See what you can do to help. Don't ask for stuff. Ask to help. Ask to see how you can help. Okay, with that, and Maticus von Atticus, hopefully you're seeing the LDSers, the more moons, not the less moons. And we're going to call it, okay, people, Friday. We've got one more opportunity during the regular week to make something happen. Go make something happen. And cut.